The ActionQ service can detect within seconds these types of events, extract information from them as dynamic tokens that can then be used in intelligent responses. I recently added the REST API call. As an example, we'll respond to an email event by calling a REST API and calling an SMS, as well as sending an email. Here is an outline of the key points in this process. We monitor a Gmail inbox and we target only incoming emails that contain the word help in the subject line and originate from a particular address. We do that by entering a filter conditions, as you can see here. Subject contains help and from equals Edo Millet. ActionQ extracts information from the incoming email, and in addition to the obvious aspects such as the from address, the subject, the to, the date, it also creates dynamic tokens by searching the subject line, the body, and any text attachments for text that looks like these bracketed tokens with name of the token and value. It also allows you to use very powerful regular expressions. For example, this first 55 directive would grab the first 55 characters as complete words out of the combination of subject and body. The phone regular expression will search for any text that looks like a phone number. We can see the regular expression directives here under the parse expressions option. So in this particular example, where the incoming email indeed contains the word help, we can see that the regular bracketed tokens will detect this text and convert it into a priority token with a value of high, and we can see that token embedded in the SMS text that was sent through Twilio. In the same way, the regular expression targeted this text and converted it into a token called phone that is embedded here. The first 55 characters from the subject and the body are shown here as help, ERP down, and then some text from the body. Practically all REST API providers give you very easy ways and examples of constructing curl commands to call their services. Here's an example of the user interface in Twilio, and they allowed me to enter the phone number where I want to send the SMS message, the from phone number, and the body of the message. So you copy this text, which includes some authentication information, and you use it within ActionQ to send the request. Within ActionQ, the option to enter the curl command looks like this. There's an editor, and there's a listing of tokens on the right-hand side that you can easily double-click to embed inside the curl command. So in this case, I've embedded the from address, the first 55, the phone token, the priority token into the curl command, and when I click preview, you can see how the dynamic values of these tokens is embedded in the call. In ActionQ, in the properties for the event, REST API execute curl indicates that you want to call a REST API, and this argument provides the curl command. ActionQ takes the JSON response from the REST API call and extracts token from it. And in our case, some of these tokens are embedded in the final email summarizing the event. Here's an example of that final email. At the top, we have information extracted from the targeting email, and at the bottom, we have information extracted from the JSON response. Let's switch to ActionQ Manager to demonstrate how the tokens were embedded inside that email message and how the HTML formatting was achieved. As a brief review, this button gives us access to specify the properties of the incoming email box that we're monitoring. And this button gives us access to the outgoing email properties for the final email. So let's look at the properties for our full event. It's this Gmail to Twilio event. This is the profile for the incoming email box, the filter condition, and the regular expression parsing directives. We're not responding with SQL in this case. We're sending a curl command through the REST API. Here is the editor for constructing the curl command and the tokens that we've embedded inside. And here's the sending email aspect for the final outgoing email. The email message body provides an editor that allows me to construct the message as HTML. I use this button to insert two tables, and each time I needed to insert a particular dynamic token, all I needed to do is find that token on the right-hand side, and a double click inserts that into the message. So if I preview this, I can see a prototype of that message. So let's close out of the event properties. I'll install the service, start it. I'll use Gmail to send the triggering email. The subject line contains the word help. You can see the tokens here, and I'll click send. And within a few seconds, the event should be triggered. There it is. The event just got triggered. And it's telling us that it executed the REST API call and that it sent the email. And here's the resulting final email reviewing the information from the triggering email and from Twilio's JSON response. I hope this clarifies how ActionQ can call a REST API and highlights some of the key features. While this demonstration was in the context of this particular sequence of event and responses, it should be clear that you can combine REST API calls with various other events,